I grew up in Milwaukee. I have lived here forever. I never traveled outside of Milwaukee one time, and it was Beloit, so that doesn't count. My name is Martina Jefferson. I am 55 years old. I was 6 years old. My sister was one, and my mother was a alcoholic, and she was a party animal. She always stayed out, so I was playing that role, like being a parent, even though I was a kid. This picture is when my mother was in her early 50s. And I think I resemble her a lot when I wear this color in my hair. She used to beat me, and I didn't understand why. I just thought that was love, because I didn't know until I became what my mother was, an alcoholic, and I started repeating the things that she did to me, to my children, except it was more verbal abuse instead of physical. And even before she passed a couple of years ago, I wanted to ask her, how come you had me and you didn't want me? After the marijuana was boring and it wasn't making me laugh and act crazy anymore, like have fun, I started mixing it with crack.
Kaylee's, look. Tea time. She's very self-sufficient, just like how I was. My name is Shaquan Jefferson, and Martina Jefferson is my mom. After one of her close friends passed away, for like a week or so, she just drunk nonstop, get up, eat, drink, get up. And then we had to move into the shelter maybe a couple days later, and that's when I figured out it was a problem.
So I took my daughter back to the Joy House at that time, and I told her I'll be back. I wind up staying out all night, so that was a no-no.
I just remember the school bus dropping me off directly in front. I was the last drop-off just because where we were staying at, and they didn't want to break the confidentiality with the school and where we were living. And she wasn't there, so I stood in the hallway for a while before I got someone's attention.
Woke up the next day and I called up there. I was like, where's my daughter? And nobody was giving me information, so I called up to the school. Is my daughter at school? Now, how does it sound? Huh? You know, you looking for your daughter, you left her. I went to her classroom and the teacher was trying to stop me. No, you can't come in here. And I cussed the poor woman out. I left and went got high again.
How many years were you using before you got to Maida House?
28 whole years. From age 17 till I was 46 years old. So a friend of the family, this guy who I used to bartend for, he said, why don't you go in? You never know if you're gonna like it or not. And then I said, the only way I would go if you buy me something to drink. So he bought me a 4-pack of beer, and I sat in front of Maida House and I drank it. When I went in there and they were trying to do an intake, and I was snapping, cussing, kept calling people all kind of bumblebees and sunflower seeds, and
the way that the social worker explained it, that she was going to get help. So I'm like, if they're helping her, then they must be good people. I don't know.
I just started saying to myself, you need to close your mouth and start listening.
When I first met Martina, she was rough. She was really new in recovery. She still had a lot of trust issues. When she got to that point where recovery was her priority, she started making the good choices, even though they were hard. So she decided to take a different way, try to make a path in recovery for herself and her children, and not worried about people pulling her in the wrong direction. She was overcoming obstacles. She was working really hard. You could see the relationships between her and her children and how they kept growing. her developing a really healthy support network in the community, and just her starting to love life again.
How old are you?
2.
You're 2?
Yeah.
I had a long night studying.
Yeah.
What are you studying right now?
I am majoring in social work with an emphasis in human services, and I'll be graduating in the next couple of months. I didn't call social work called me. And the reason why I say that, because I always loved to help everybody ever since I was small, and now I'm actually able to do it in a professional manner.
If anybody know my story and saw, she saw, because I had her with me at all time. So, you know, she learned from, she know that I came from a long way from the way I used to be. I always used to be quick to fight anybody or cuss anybody out. And she know that I'm not like that anymore. Yeah.
So Martina is a peer support specialist at Maida House, and she is working in our housing program where she's mentoring and sharing her story with the women who are just coming in or who live in our housing program to help them through their recovery.
I work part-time at Maida House, my housing. I love my women. It's so funny. When I'm not at work, I think about my women because some of them, they like young girls, and they remind me of my daughter. They in that age bracket, and you can tell that some of them just need a little, somebody to pay attention to them. Just a little bit of love, like a little bit to show them that somebody cares.
Anybody could be a mom. It's not rocket science. It's not nothing that you need education on. It's something that you learn day by day. It's the actions that you take and the things that you teach the young ones that's around you. It's just the nurture effect. And I think that's the primary thing of being a mom, just being a nurturer, being a listener, being an activist. But in all reality, I think all moms are social workers because they're there to help. In July, she'll be having a sobriety party, celebrating, I think, over 10 years.
So 10 years, yeah, that's a blessing. It looked like it went so fast. I always, when I'm praying, I always thank God for blessing me with another chance at life. It's amazing. Okay, so this is a picture of my daughter and my mother. This was on Mother's Day. I'm not sure of the... And I was also grateful that before my mother passed a couple of years ago, that she was able to, you know, see me in a positive way, because me and her used to get high together. And before she passed, she told me that she was proud of me.